everybody, Audiophile Barista here. Welcome to this new thing that I'm trying out. So at the end of every month, at the beginning of the next month, I'm going to tell you about all the new physical media that I bought in the month before. And I'm not just going to show you this is what I bought, this is what I bought, this is what I bought. I'm trying to create a little bit of a story around the music from where I'm coming from, how I got into this music, this artist, where I picked it up, all the things that I already have in my collection that are related to this artist, just trying to make it interesting for you guys. And the idea for this was because something that Johnny Darko did, where he told about stopping Spotify, how streaming services are not the best option for artists to make any money, and that the best way is to buy new stuff from the artist in order to make sure that the people that we like, that make the music that we like, can stay in business and make more beautiful music for us. So now he said, I am spending $500 every month and I'm trying to buy, preferably at the website from that specific artist. But I noticed that sometimes that can get very expensive. I do not have $500 to spend every month, but somewhere between 50 and up to €100 every month. That is what I'm going to invest in new media and hoping to keep the music business alive. Now, they don't really need me for that, but I'm hoping to inspire some of you people to also put some money aside and buy new stuff. Now, I am buying a lot of secondhand stuff, but that of course does not bring any revenue for the artist itself. That station has passed, somebody already paid that, and now I'm paying €1 for a CD. Now I like that, I will keep doing that, I will keep you informed on all the beautiful things that I bought, but I am going to buy new also. Now, some money rules that I set for myself. Looking at vinyl records, I do not want to spend more than $20 for a record, which nowadays is pretty difficult to do. I looked at one artist's website, the store, web store, from something that I wanted to buy, and it turned out that they charged €30 for a CD, and this is without shipping, and they charged €60 for an LP. Now, I am not going to do that. To all the artists out there, if any of you are listening, I'm not going to pay $60 for a record. I'm not going to pay $30 for a CD. So for CDs, I am hoping to pay €10 maximum, but it can be a bit higher depending on how much I would like the music. So that is what I'm going to do every month at the beginning of the month. So now it's February and we are going to look back at January, and I will take you through all the stuff that I bought in January. So let's get started. Okay, moving into the first CD that I'm going to show you that I bought a few weeks ago. This is Sunset in the Blue by Melody Gardot. These are all the albums and the vinyl that I already have. This is a wonderful edition, nice little booklet with all the lyrics in there. It's a Decca record, so sound quality is absolutely amazing on this album, as is with most of Melody Gardot's music. We have seen her live a couple of times, which is also an amazing experience. She makes a great show. Now this is her last album, which she brought out in 2020. If we look at the rest of my collection, This is actually her second album, Worrisome Heart. I have this one that is already a bit more worn. It had a lot of views because this, as far as sound quality goes, is just something that you need to hear. This is really, really great sound. And at the time when records were a bit cheaper than they are nowadays, I picked up this one. And this was actually a mistake from the ones that sent it to me. I ordered the normal edition, but this is the 45 RPM 180 grams edition, and it is absolutely stunning. I love this album. This came out in 2008. That was her second album. This, My One and Only Thrill, is her fourth album, which came out in 2009. Over here we have Currency of a Man, which she brought out in 2015. This is her sixth album, so I don't have everything yet. That will come later, but this is her sixth album. This one, Live in Europe, was brought out in 2018. And as I said, we have seen her live in Europe. This is also a very nice 2-disc edition. Also from Decca. And this is from 2018. This is her seventh album. Sound quality on this thing is also just amazing. And then the one that I bought last month is from 2020, and it is her eighth and latest album, and I think this is just another great album. But it has a bit of a Brazilian feel to it. You need to like that. I like it. I think this is a great edition, and that is the first one that I picked up. So, moving on to my second purchase, which is this album on vinyl. This is from Carla Bruni, and maybe you also know her. If you don't know her as an artist, you may know her as the First Lady of France, because she married President Sarkozy at the time. And when we were on holiday at the time in France, this was playing on the radio a lot, and I just liked the music. It has a nice, happy, slow, soothing feel to it. Some nice melodies in there. And her voice, which is a little bit hoarse, maybe not everyone likes it, but I like those kind of voices. A little bit too much air in the singing, but you know what? I like it. So I picked up, at the time, I picked up the CD. Now this is an edition with a CD in there, a little booklet, and a DVD with some extras. Nice packaging in here. And her second album, which was called No Promises. Now this one is completely sung in French. It's called Quelqu'un m'a dit, and that is translated to Someone Told Me. This album is in English, No Promises. I picked it up just because I thought, well, I like this one, maybe I like this one too. And you know what? I don't. I think this is a terrible album, but the design and the way that the packaging is, this is very nice, but I'm not playing this one because I don't like it. And then this was from 2007. Maybe she didn't like it also because already in 2008 she came out with a new album. It says here Nouvel Album, new album. It's called Comme si de rien n'était. and that translates into as if nothing happened. I don't know if that is a reference to what happened over here, but this again is in France. There is a song on there that is in English, and again, nice packaging, and this sounds much more like this original album. I think recording quality is pretty good. It is a bit flat sounding, but this is another perfect Sunday morning, late evening, when you don't want too difficult music, just something that flows throughout and is very nice and comforting to listen to. So this album I picked up, it was about 15 euros, so that's okay for an album like this. I think not many people know her, listen to her, so maybe that's why it was a little bit more inexpensive. But I like Carla Bruni. She had a life as a model, and she has been with all the big guys. So she also dated Mick Jagger, Eric Clapton, Kevin Costner. So she has been around, and good for her. These are all her albums, and this one, the one that I bought now on vinyl, is an album that I like very much, but it is a preferred taste. So I'm inviting you to have a listen to this album, but if you don't like it, I can understand. This is not everybody's cup of tea. And also it is in French, and I am very much okay with that. The problem with this one in English is that it is a bit slow music, it is a bit predictable music, and then the lyrics, because I can understand them, you also have the lyrics are not that well, and then it becomes something that is not very listenable for me. Now this, I recognize a lot of the French words, but I don't really understand all the lyrics, and sometimes I like that. Then the lyrics just become the sound of the music. Anyways, this album is the second one that I bought last month, January, and I like it very much. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, for the next one I have a little guessing game, because all of you know this artist, but not from his music. I'm guessing, but not from his music, but from his movies. And one of the movies he starred in is this one, and this is the Laserdisc edition of Jurassic Park. This is a wonderful box. It has 5 sides, as you have with Laserdisc. You have to change the discs every time, and that is one of the reasons why it didn't make it, I think. And Laserdisc, for those of you who don't know, you had the VHS. If you wanted to buy a movie, you could buy it first and VHS. And then after that, for better quality, in this case because of digital sound, still analog movie, but digital sound, you had these amazing things. This is a Laserdisc. Now, for those of you who follow my channel, you know that downstairs I have all the equipment to play Laserdiscs and make use of the digital surround sound. But you know him, the next artist that I'm talking about, from this movie. And there are a lot of actors, male actors in this movie, but you may, if I put this one down here, you now may know who it is. This is The Fly, and also The Fly Part 2. So this is both films, part 1 and part 2. I don't care much about part 2, but I like I like movies that are a bit different, and The Fly is definitely different. If you have never watched it, make sure to give it a watch. It is a bit horror, a bit strange. I like it, you may not like it, but it is something. This is just advertisement. But now maybe you know, if you know this movie, you already know who I am talking about. And I am talking about Jeff Goldblum. Now Jeff Goldblum is kind of a character as he plays in these movies. But he makes jazz CDs and he has his band. In this case he's playing with the Mildred Snitcher Orchestra. And this is another Decca recording. So the recording quality is just perfect. And this starts with Cantaloupe Island. Now if you know that, there is some standards in here. He has a few singers, female singers that are participating on here. One of them is Reinhart, and she has an amazing voice. So this is actually very upbeat, happy, some of the quirkiness of Jeff Goldblum, and this is a very nice album, and it is the CD that I bought last week. So a few months ago, maybe half a year ago, we were in Antwerp, a town in Belgium, and they had a big second-hand CD market there. I went there and I found this one in pretty beat up condition, but they asked 11 euros for it, and I picked this one up for 9 euros brand new, so I was very happy with that. But this is something that you should just explore. I like it. I'm glad I have it in the collection now. And one of the songs on here, My Baby Just Cares For Me, with Reinhart, a live recording. At least give that one a listen before you decide on this album. But here we have a movie star that is doing music. There are many movie stars that also make music, some of them more successful than others, but this one you should definitely give a listen. Oh, and this album is from 2018.
You'll have to get used to Dr. Malcolm. He suffers from a deplorable excess of personality.
Okay, so I picked up a vinyl, I picked up some CDs, and then there is another format that is becoming a little bit more popular, which is music cassettes. And this is the music cassette from Billie Eilish. This album is called When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Good question. And this is from 2019. And more and more artists, big artists, are putting out their music on music cassette also. And as you all know, downstairs I have a very nice Nakamichi deck and I can play this music. Also a reason to buy this, because this is not completely my kind of music that I normally buy, but it was on cassette. I know I like some of Billie Eilish's music, but also Miss Barista, she likes some of this music. She knows Bad Guy and she likes that. So I put it in the Nakamichi, I played it, and you know what? The recording quality and the quality of this music on cassette is actually pretty good. There's a nice hefty bass on it, it's very energetic. So this was also a very good buy, and I love to have all these different formats. Some of you may know I have 78 records and all the way up to streaming high resolution files. I don't have a specific preference for this is the only format that I listen to. No, I listen to all the formats and everything has its place. And of course, me, being me, from 1965, that is when I was born, I grew up with cassettes. So seeing some of these new cassettes with people bringing out music on cassette is something that I absolutely adore. Now, if this was a vinyl record, this image would be much better. You would much better see what is the image. This is just a thing with music cassettes. This is the J card, as they call it. Tiny, tiny letters. There is some information on here, not too much. All the songs, side A, side B. But, you know, a vinyl record, as far as artwork goes, is much better. I like the colored music cassettes, and if you are wondering if this sound quality on this music cassette is okay, this is actually great. This is very good. Okay, let's do another guessing game. Here we have a singer that is also in a movie, and this artist, without me even knowing, the one that I bought this record from, this artist is someone that I may know the longest of my life, because this music was brought out before I was born. This is from 2 years after I was born. I don't know when I saw this first, but I do know that we went with the family to the cinema, and that is where I saw Jungle Book. Jungle Book, one of my favorite movies, amazing animation.
Have 2 bananas.
Incredible music, and one of the singers on this album is the one that I'm going to show you. But first, as I said, this is Laserdisc. Now, Laserdisc, when it came out, I could not afford that kind of thing, so these things were about $100 a piece, and I picked this up later. The thing that I did pick up when I was younger is the VHS version of Jungle Book. Then, of course, after VHS came Laserdisc. After Laserdisc, you had the DVD, so that is also one that I picked up. This has been in my collection for a very, very long time. And of course, at one time it came out on Blu-ray, so I had to pick that one up also. I love this movie. But who am I talking about? Oh, and of course, I have the original soundtrack also. But who am I talking about? Now, there's a few people that you may think of, but let me put this aside. First, this one over here. And this is the album that I picked up. This is Louis Prima, featuring Keely Smith, Sam Butera, exceptional saxophone player, and the Witnesses. That is the band. Now this is the voice of one of the characters, and I picked it up on CD also. I had this one already for some time, but this is the one that I picked up last month, and it is red colored vinyl, which is just an extra bonus to it. 180 grams, and this is actually the version from 2004. Am I saying that correct? 2002, when they did a re-release. And these, and this one also from 2002, this has 4 extra songs on it that are not on the original. But So who am I talking about? Well, one of the characters in the Jungle Book is, of course, King of the Monkeys, King Louie.
Now I'm the king of the swingers, oh, the jungle VIP.
And it's not by accident that he is called King Louie, because Louis Prima is doing the voice of the Monkey King and doing the music. They played the music, and I Want to Be Like You is one of the most amazing songs in animation history, if you ask me.
Oh, ooby-doo, I want to be like you.
But that is mostly because I absolutely love this album. But Louis Prima is a very good singer, not the usual good voice, but he is a very recognizable voice. He always has a lot of energy, and there is a lot of humor in his songs. Just look up some of his things on YouTube. He is also a bit of a comedian and a great trumpet player. And if you need an energy boost, if you're feeling down and you want to be uplifted, this is the perfect album for me to put on. Louis Prima, The Wildest. And this was only his second album. I don't think he made an even better album than this after that. But just like you may not have known that Louis Prima is King Louis, there's also some other things that you may not know about him. I'm sure every one of you knows the wonderful, mostly played by big bands, the Sing Sing Sing. Amazing, energetic music. You may know it from being played by a big band and someone like Benny Goodman, but this is not, Sing 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 is not from Benny Goodman. It is written and the music is from Louis Prima. Also, Just a Gigolo is from Louis Prima. Buonasera, Louis Prima. Pennies from Heaven, everyone knows that. This is all made, the lyrics and the music, by Louis Prima. So this was an amazing artist. I love this artwork, and I'm very happy to now have the vinyl in the collection next to the CD that I already had. I love this edition, and this music, you need to listen to this.
Well, man, what a beat.
Okay, one more for this edition. Last one for this video. This is a CD that I wanted to pick up for a very long time. This is Leila McCalla, and the CD is called Very Colored Songs. The subtitle is a tribute to Langston Hughes. I'll be telling about him in a minute. Interesting story about this CD is that it was funded by a Kickstarter. They aimed for $5,000 for this Kickstarter, and they ended up getting $20,000. So that was a big success. Now this Langston Hughes that this is a tribute to was a black man, a poet, and he was from the 1920s, 1930s, and he wrote about the joys and hardships of black lives in that period. And that is what you hear in these lyrics, and Leila McCalla put music to those lyrics. And some of them do get a little bit intense. There's a song over here, Song for a Dark Girl. That was actually the first song that I heard about this album. And it is intense, it is beautiful, and I knew I had to have this CD someday. But it's also intense because those lyrics, that song, that poem was about public lynching. And this song is about a girl who lost her boyfriend because he was lynched. And that reminded me of another song, which is from Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday had a song which was called Strange Fruit. And Strange Fruit was a song also about lynching. Now this, what I have over here, is a wonderful edition of all the early work from Billie Holiday. And this is the complete, let me take this out, the complete Columbia recordings. Columbia 1933, 1944. And this is absolutely an amazing edition with 10. Let me put this aside. This is not part of it. Someone gave this to me. I'm very grateful for that, and he put the reason why on this postcard, so I keep it with it. But over here you have all those CDs. Ten pieces in all. And what I like about this edition let me put this back. This is a very old book in which they would keep 78 records. Over here you could write down what kind of records are in there, and then in these sort of envelopes you have to open it like this and take out the record. And the way they did this, having these wonderful records, I have some space over here. I like the design of this because they brought back that same old vibe, same old system in here. But why am I talking about this? Well, the reason why I'm talking about that is because in that period when she was recording at Columbia, she made this song about lynching, which was called Strange Fruit. And Columbia actually refused to record that song. They were afraid that retailers in the South would object, and they were afraid that radio stations would not play that song. So they did give her permission to record that song with another company, but they did not record it, and that is why that song is missing. There is 10 CDs in here. It is called the complete recordings, but this one song was too much for them, so it is not in here. Going back to 2013, you can put a song like that on here, but in those days that was very impossible, and that is, if you look at Song for a Dark Girl, so writing about that in that period for this Langston Hughes was quite a big thing to do. Now this album, so it can be a little bit intense. Some of the songs are just her and her cello, or just her and a guitar, only her voice. Another artist on here is Rhiannon Giddens, and a few weeks ago I let you hear a demo a sound sample from my Lynn system downstairs, and the first song that I played was from Rhiannon Giddens, also an amazing artist, amazing voice. If you like this one, I don't know, I think this is beautiful, good recording quality, and I would absolutely invite you to give this a listen. And so we come to the end of this video. We had 2 records. We had 1, 2, 3 CDs and a nice cassette. So I hope you like this format. Let me know in the comment section below. This is what I'm going to do. Every month I have a budget. I'm going to buy some new media and I'm going to share with you my stories and the music itself. So thank you for watching and I will see you in a month.